Hi and welcome along to the All Gunz Blazing podcast with my man DT. He's actually here and we're here in the flesh today, although, you know, I don't even know what to do now with all these government stuff coming in.
It's a bit strange, isn't it?
It just keeps changing all the time, you know what I mean? It's, 1 minute it's this, then it changes to that, and, you know, I mean, honestly, work at home, don't work at home. Honestly, you don't know what to do. I'm truly confused about it. When I come into the building today, me and a guy downstairs was chatting, and he was saying the same thing. He goes, Rob, I don't know what to do no more. I don't know what to do, because every day is something else.
Yeah, I think the whole world's like that at the moment. I think everyone's kind of confused and what to do, not to do, what's right, what's wrong. I think the only clear indication we have now is that pubs are shut at 10. And that's about it. So
yeah, but then I heard, right, so check this out now, right? What I heard a guy say from, I think, representing the EFL clubs, that obviously they're in big trouble at the moment now because they were expecting for fans to come back, and now we've been told by the government that that's been put on pause and there will be no fans returning.
yeah,
And as a guy pointed out, why is it that it's all right for people to go in a pub? You don't have to wear a mask when you're drinking and stuff like that and socialising and being a group of 6. But you can't go into a stadium which is actually outside, right, where they would separate people, where there wouldn't be a massive crowd because it was going to be much reduced. Why? How is that? Why is it's...
Nobody knows at all. To give you an idea, or for the people watching, how stupid this all is, if you go further down the leagues into non-league, for example, and you have steps 1 to 7, step 1 and step 2 are classed as elite level. So they're in the category of no fans in the stadium. Somebody at step 1 and 2 can ground share with a team from step 3, 4, 5, right up to 7, for example. Now, with the FA Cup getting into the second preliminary rounds, the teams from step 1 and 2 are now going to be entering the FA Cup stages. 2 teams that share the same stadium can get drawn against each other. If the team in step 1 and step 2 are the home side, no fans are allowed in the stadium. If the team that they ground share with, that are step 3 or 4, are the home team, they're allowed a reduced capacity in the stadium.
It's crazy, it's crazy.
So explain to me how that works.
Listen, we know that it's unprecedented times and stuff like that, but it's just, I don't know, I just get very confused with everything that's going on. And of course, you know, we were hoping that fans were going to be allowed back into the stadium. You know, I mean, I'll put my thing forward for the ballot. Got my fingers crossed, hoping that, you know, I'll be back in that for that game. One of the 15,000 might get that golden ticket for that game.
It's like Willy Wonka,
Willy Wonka,
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
And they get the golden ticket, and then now that's all gone. You know what I mean? So we're not even going to get back into stadiums. And if this is for a minimum the next 6 months, you may as well say this season there will be no fans inside the ground, and there will definitely be no away fans. Also, we kind of knew that already. Yeah. So a season without fans.
Yep. I told everyone to be prepared for it. It's
a season without fans.
You know what's scary now, Robbie, is that this has become normality, like not being in the stadium. I'm starting to not, like, it's not that I don't miss it.
You're not missing it as much as you thought.
Yeah, because I've now become used to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like...
I said this, I did an interview for a radio station, and I said this is going to be one of the problems clubs are going to have
of getting people
when
back
a lockdown finishes, right? Is that the fact that you've got fans like you, like me, that basically, and there's even crazier fans that, like, they've been going to watch their club for the last 30, 40 years, week in, week out, home, away. It becomes almost automatic.
Yeah.
It's like a habit.
It is.
That is a habit. Even if your club's paying crap, you will be there. There's nothing that can stop you from going. There'd be a wedding on the same day, you wouldn't go. Lots of different things, right? Now, all of a sudden, that habit has been broken. It's been broken for quite a while. And then you started to discover, like what you just said there. So people have started to discover other things, and they're like, do you know what? I still love Arsenal the same, but I could do without going every single week. Maybe when Arsenal come back, maybe I'll go, instead of renewing my season ticket, maybe I might go once a month. Maybe I might just do the home games. Maybe I might just go to the games that I think are going to be big games. This is going to be a problem for a lot of clubs. Maybe not your Arsenals and clubs like that, but a lot of other clubs, because the season tickets, fans might not just buy it. And then remember the fact that fans are going to have much less money, because a lot of people are out of jobs and stuff like that. The clubs are really going to have to work hard to get fans back in the stadium once it opens back. I don't think it's going to be just after a year you open the doors and people come flooding in. For some clubs, yes. For your Arsenals, Man United's, clubs like that.
Yeah.
But for a lot of other clubs, I feel that people are going to be like,
But then is there also that factor of when the novelty wears off again? Initially, when they open the doors to everyone wants to come in. It's like, yes, go back into the ground, and then that novelty might wear off.
Yeah, because and as I said, people would have been like spent a lot of time doing other things.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, as I said, they're not fussed.
I know what you're saying.
They'll watch it on TV and stuff like that. So it's going to be. I mean, this might have a reflection on the prices. Will Arsenal be able to come with those crazy season ticket prices when they open back up?
Probably not.
People might just say, well, I ain't paying that.
No.
And I don't have to go. I've got used to not going all the time.
Yeah, and
so the dynamics when we do eventually get let back in,
it's going to be different.
It's going to be really, really interesting.
Massively, because it was. You know what? The prime example is that if you would have told me a year ago, you will, miss a game, I'd be like, no. You remember when I had my operation? I was told, you're write-off for the rest of the season. I think there was about 8-9 games of the season left. It was like, you're done. I've just had major surgery. And I think I missed 2 games. I just got out of hospital. And then we were playing Atletico Madrid in the semi-final of the Europa League. And I still had my stitching and everything in my stomach. And you were standing there and you were like...
I remember, I go, what are you doing here?
What the hell is he doing here? I was like, all right. I was like, couldn't keep away. Sorry, I can't do it.
But now we've all kept away, not been through...
You think...
The last game we went to was actually the one that we did at the weekend, which was last weekend, which was West Ham. That was the last game. Arsenal at home against West Ham.
Yeah?
That's the last game we've all been to.
Yeah, because then we...
That was in March.
Called off before we played Man City, wasn't it?
Yeah, March.
Yeah. But even when you think about it, when we played Leicester in the cup match on Wednesday, I wasn't involved in like the watch along because my team were in action. So it was like, and I've got cameras following me because we're doing like the whole Blood Brothers stuff and everything as well and whatever. And I remember they were saying to me like, are you not worried about Arsenal at the moment? Or I'm like, I know what's going on, but I would never have thought of that a year ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's because I found something else that's taking my time, and
so that's what I'm saying.
I'm enjoying it.
A lot of people are going to find hobbies. Mind you, there's not a lot else to do right now because you're stuck at home. So you're still watching the game, and let's get into the game. The game against Leicester. That was a professional, good away win, clean sheet.
Yeah.
Much changed team. So was Leicester.
Yeah.
But they still had some decent players in there, just as we still had some, and 2-0 away from home. It's a place where we haven't won there. I think the last 3 occasions we've been there, we've lost. To go to the King Power and get that win, I thought that was pretty impressive. And the youngsters played really well.
It is. And, you was talking about clean sheet. 31 games Mikel Arteta's been manager of Arsenal. 25 out of those 31 games, we've either kept a clean sheet or only conceded 1 goal.
You see the improvements there straight away.
There you go.
He's making us hard to beat.
There you go. You see it already, and this is why some of us are confident in what the manager's doing. Take aside whether the owner's going to back him and everything else. We've still got over a week of the window left, so I'm waiting. And what I do say is that for everyone that does panic, we signed Aubameyang, Pepe, players like this with a week of the window left. We've still got plenty of time, so just relax at the minute.
How many signings do you think we need?
Minimum 2. We know the 2. We've already discussed it.
Do you think we'll get the 2?
It's like my heart and head says so many. Like my head says
we ain't getting the 2.
Like we need the 2. We have to get the 2. And my heart says we're probably only going to get 1.
I think we only get one.
If we get none, mate, banners are coming out. Do you know what I mean?
And who did you say you wanted out of the two? Was OR and Partey are the two hot?
Do you know what? My opinion changes every game because when I watch the West Ham game, for example, or even some spells of the Leicester game, there's one thing that's very evident that we're missing.
Creativity.
Yeah. So instantly I go, we need OR. But then when you look at the performance against Fulham, for example, you're like, oh, yeah, we're fine. We need Partey. So it changes dependent on the game.
But how about, right, somebody suggested this to me yesterday, how about bringing Partey and rehabilitate Ozil?
Oh, please, come on.
Left out of the team.
Again,
I mean...
It's evident. His time's done, man.
No, but with this whole Ozil thing now, why don't they just pay off the guy's contract and do like what Real Madrid done with Bale or something like this? Get rid of him now, man. This is becoming... The other day when we had the game, right, the big talking point was the fact that he's not even in the squad in a Carabao Cup game. And I don't care what the excuses were after the game by Mikel Arteta about, you know, rotating and that. There's something's gone on there. For him not to get in a Carabao Cup squad when he's on £350,000 a week, he's training, he's fit, right? And he can't get even on the bench in that. This is becoming ridiculous now. So to me, pay him off. Because I don't know, I've got my theory on it, right? My theory on it is that they're upset with him about the pay cut thing and the China thing, and they're just saying, right, he ain't playing no more. That's my theory on it. I don't know, what do you think? I just think, I think that decision's come from high up and they've just said, bomb him out.
Yeah.
He ain't playing. No, we don't care how well he's training. We don't care how fit he is. He's not playing. We don't want him in the team. I don't think it's an Arteta thing. I think this has come from high up.
I'm not sure because it's looking...
So why is he ain't playing?
Because it's very evident from what Mikel Arteta's saying that he's not doing something.
What?
Something's happened, something's gone on that we're not privy to. I think eventually we'll find out.
I think it's obvious.
I do
that pay cut thing, and remember with that pay cut thing,
but
even
what about the
after
other two? What about the other two?
I don't know. Maybe the other two have made up. Maybe the other two kept their head, because remember he didn't keep his head down on it either, did he? When the other day when they laid off those 55 people, he kind of came out and he said, "I told you. That's why I didn't want to take the pay cut. I told you," and then that would have probably angered them even more. Because to me, he's not even on the bench.
No, I know.
For a Carabao Cup game, if you can't make the bench a Carabao Cup game, right, when we're resting all of our players, got big game coming up against Liverpool, players are being rested, you can't make even the bench.
I know.
I'm sorry, man. There's something serious.
Yeah.
There's a serious falling out, and above have said, yo, he ain't playing. We don't care what he does.
Well, you don't need to tell me because I know something serious has happened, but it's just, I just can't wait till this situation's dealt with now.
Why don't they just do like what Real Madrid have done with Bale?
Maybe because there might be something in his contract that they can't do that. Just as I said this to you on another podcast when someone said, take his number 10 off him. There's probably something in his contract to say that he cannot have the number 10 taken away. Because that would be one of the things where you really start to, push him out and try and make him feel uncomfortable. You've seen that with other clubs before. They've taken numbers off players, and I reckon because number 10's like a brand to Mesut Ozil, it's probably written in his contract to never have that taken away, which is probably why they haven't. So
I heard rumours as well that if he does play, every time he plays, and now again, this is just rumours, it's not, I can't back this up with no evidence, this is just rumours, yeah? But there's rumours that if he does play, every time he plays, they'll give him a bonus as well. There's bonuses attached and stuff like that, so they'll be paying him even more money.
Well, there you go then.
But all I know, right, is it's a very horrible situation all round.
There's a few situations that I just want dealt with. I want his situation dealt with. I want Guendouzi's situation dealt with.
Guendouzi, they're obviously, that's obvious.
They're the two.
Another one, he's out, isn't he?
Yeah, it's got to be.
He's out. He's gone.
Just let's all move on.
Torreira,
I've got no ill feeling with him. No ill feeling. I'm sad it didn't work out. I think he's a great little guy. I think he's a brilliant player. It just hasn't worked for him here.
What do you make of the fact that Atletico are saying
Well,
it can't be part of a Partey deal.
If Arsenal let Torreira go there and they don't have something in place to bring Partey the other way, then somebody at the club needs to answer serious questions. I understand why it can't be part of a deal that's tied in together, because like I was trying to say to someone, that with a release clause, for example, there's probably parts of this clause where it has to be a cash sum, no instalments, for the full amount to be activated. So by the letter of the contract, Arsenal can't have Torreira as part of an exchange deal. They have to, as mad as this may seem, let Atletico buy him, take the money, use the money and whatever's remaining and give it back to Atletico, and then activate the release clause. I'm hoping that's the way around it. So officially...
But then there's even talk of loans though.
Yeah, well, no, but even so, there's still going to be things in place, you know, because it's obligation. So,
but then Atletico are coming out and they're saying that, you know what, Partey, we want to keep Partey because he's not the same type of player as Torreira, and he's not part of the deal, simple as. So to me, I'd be saying, well, you ain't having him unless you pay an extortionate amount of money to get him.
Unless this is what's being said for certain reasons. I also think that Arsenal don't want to make it very obvious too quick, and they're playing a game of poker here with Lyon over having too much money, because if they just go and activate Partey's release clause now, or they'd already done it, for example, Lyon would be like, well, you've got money there.
Well, Lyon want more than 45 million.
Yeah, well, do you know what I mean? But what Arsenal have to do is make it look like they've sold players so that they can actively show everyone and say to Lyon, well, we never bought him. Like, we've had to sell to get, and, you know, and it's one of those.
It's going to run and run.
Yeah, we're going to only for another week or so.
You know, well, a bit more than that, because the window closed on the 5th of October. So it's still got a little while to run, but I think it's looking good at the moment with Arsenal. You know, I mean, the Fulham game, all right, West Ham wasn't the greatest performances, but it's a win. And then, you know, Leicester away, you know, never an easy place to go to. Positive result from that. Now all the attention's turned to the big one, right? This is where now people are going to look at this game. Everybody, not just Arsenal fans, everybody's going to be looking at this game and say, well, let's see what they're really made of now. Let's see. You saw it last week with Chelsea. There was a lot of pressure on Chelsea because people, with all the money that they've spent and everything, a lot of the pundits were looking and say, right, let's see if Chelsea really have got a shot at winning the title, right? Or pushing Liverpool and City. And after that game, and after the way they got beaten so easily, everybody's like, right, conclusion made, no chance. It's a similar thing with us this week. They're not looking at us winning the league, but they're looking at say, is this Arsenal team really a serious proposition for maybe top 4 or actually pushing this year? We will find out when they go to Anfield, right? Because every time they've been there recently, they've got absolutely battered.
I see that. I see what you're saying in that sense, but we are not under any kind of pressure going into this game, like Chelsea were, for example, because you know,
I think we're under similar pressure.
No, I don't. I honestly don't. I don't.
Why?
Because we've not spent the kind of money that Chelsea have. No one's expecting us to win the league. This is going to be a test for our top 4 credentials, yes. But in terms of what our objective this season is, it's not as high as what Chelsea's now is because of the amount of money they've spent and the players they've brought in. So we can go into this game with a sense of like, no one's expecting us to win the league. Even if we won, nobody's going to turn around after a game and go, yeah, they're going to win the league.
No, but I'm not on about winning the league.
I just think we've got less pressure.
It's pressure,
than Chelsea.
But there's a pressure because people are like, all right, yeah, you beat them at the Emirates. Liverpool on the beach, that's what all the fans are saying. You beat them in the Community Shields. Well, actually, you didn't even beat them. It was a draw. You won on penalties, right?
But look at the two teams.
But now's the big test.
Yeah, but look at the two teams in the Community Shield. Look at the two teams.
True, they had a much stronger team out.
Even us. When the team lineup were out, everyone was already making excuses. It's only the Community Shield, don't want it anyway. Rubbish. So, and you know, you can say it was a draw, but if we walked away from Anfield on Monday with a draw, I think we'd take it. We'd be well happy.
Can we go to Anfield and get a win? Forget a draw for a minute.
I would have been more...
Because that would be a major turning point.
It would be.
In Mikel Arteta's management, that would be a major turning point for Arsenal Football Club, because it would be one of the first times in, bloody hell, a decade?
Yeah.
Well, not a decade, but you know what I mean, in years that we've gone away to one of the big boys and turned them over. Can we do that?
I'd have been more confident probably a couple of weeks ago.
Why aren't you confident now?
Because I brought Thiago in. That's probably the reason why it's don't let him on the ball. But it's easier said than done, isn't it? Because I think he'll start this game. I think he will be involved. And it's just the way he controls the game. The way he dictates the game. He's just beautiful to watch as a footballer. Effortless. And if we're going to stand a chance, then we need to nullify that area. And then, of course, you've got the attack. For me, Mane is the most important player at Liverpool, ahead of Van Dijk, Salah, all of them. And I said it from a long time ago. He was my player of the year, not Henderson or anyone else. I think the one thing that does play into our hands is no fans. That is a very big contributing factor. And I think if we go there with a sense of no fear as well, like Leeds did.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that Leeds game, I know it was the first game of the season, but do you look on it and say, well, you know, you can get out of Liverpool?
Yeah, you can.
Because, you know, Leeds went there and they had no fear. And they scored 3 goals. And really, they should have left there with a minimum of draw. If it hadn't been from stupid penalty giveaway.
Yeah, you know? they had no fear, but the problem was they had no defence. You know, so
but I'm just talking about how they attacked Liverpool. Yeah, and Liverpool looked very vulnerable.
And they didn't like it, and like it or not, and I still think he's the best defender in world football. Just recently, Virgil van Dijk's been making mistakes. He's been making errors. He's not been as perfect, shall we say, as he was. Made an error against us, the one against Leeds. It's like he's got too casual. Like everything became so easy for him. It's just nonchalant, isn't it?
But for this game, he's going to be up for it, though, isn't he?
Yeah, well, listen, Virgil van Dijk is up for every game. But what I'm saying is, I don't know, maybe it's just he's going through a little phase. All players go through them. You're never going to be perfect forever throughout your whole career. Maybe he's just going through a little patch. Maybe this is the kind of game where we need to put a bit of pressure on him. Because you've got to remember the mistakes he made against us at the Emirates, like that one. Both goals of ours were because we put pressure on them. And we made them make mistakes. I don't look at... People will say, Van Dijk made a mistake, Alisson made a mistake. I'd rather look at it like, well, no, we made them make a mistake. It wasn't just an unforced error. It was us forcing them to make those errors. So we need to go there. We need to be brave. We need to, at times, be very, very dogged and dig in. We need some luck. Every game needs luck. And then we'll see. But like I said, if we can go away from there with a point, I'd be happy. I'd take a point, given our results in recent years.
What will your tactics be in that game? You say digging, so that's 3 at the back.
I'd stick with that.
With what we've been...
Yeah, from away from home, I'd stick with that. I think that system works away from home. I think it's very good. I think the balance between defence and attack works well. I think David Luiz is going to be crucial in this game, coming back centrally into the 3. I worry about Rob Holding against Mane.
Oh yeah. I get the feeling it'd be Luiz. Yeah, you have to pay. No, Luiz, Gabriel.
No, because Tierney. You can't. Because Gabriel and Tierney are both left. You need a right side. So David Luiz will be central of the 3, which means you need someone on the right hand side of that 3. And there's no way he's just going to randomly give Saliba his baptism out of nowhere when he couldn't even start against Leicester. So Gabriel for me will probably be the left of that 3. I think
Bellerin will have a very important role to play in getting back to help out.
Yeah, he will. And he had a good rest in the Leicester game. Only came on for 10 minutes.
Played well as well when he came on. Made that goal.
Made the goal for Eddie. I think Tierney will probably go in the left wing back position. I think it's very clear that Saka's more of a threat in the attacking areas. Whether he'll play or not, I don't know. I think we'll probably go with Willian, Laka and Oba as our three. Xhaka and probably Ceballos, to be honest.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's very evident
Give us your 11 then. Give us your 11 for that
with Leno in goal.
Yeah.
Some great saves as well, by the way, against Leicester. Done very well to keep us in the game.
He took out Troops was moaning about him, saying they're still worried about him aerially. There was that little incident with him and David Luiz where they clashed. Where he nearly took
if his
David
name
Luiz's
was Burn Ras Clark Leno, then Troops wouldn't have a problem with him. All right? But I would, with the back three.
Back three.
Luiz, Gabriel, and you're going to have to go Holding. He's the only other one that can actually play on the right-hand side. Saliba's not going to get a run out, is he? Let's be real about it.
Yeah. Wing backs.
Wing back, Hector. I wasn't impressed by Maitland-Niles against Leicester.
He was poor.
Really poor.
He didn't have a great
game at all. Left wing back will be Tierney. I would play a half-fit Tierney ahead of Kolasinac. Centrally, I think it will probably be Ceballos and Xhaka. I'd be tempted to play El Neni. I really would. I think his performance against Fulham, and even his, I'm going with what I think.
Because of Liverpool's attacking threat, I would actually start with El Neni and Xhaka. Because they're the ones who played in the Community Shield as well.
Yeah.
And I just feel that you need a little
energy.
Shield.
Yeah.
And that energy, and then later on, you know, if we're still, hopefully we're still in the game, you bring Ceballos on.
Yeah.
But I'd go with those two. I like the discipline of those two. I think that's going to be needed in that game. We're away from home against a very, very attacking team. We need those two in midfield.
I was going with what I felt Mikel will pick. And if El Neni does start, then he'll be the best Egyptian on the pitch.
We hope so.
So let's remember that.
That'll
come back and bite me in the backside now,
the other Egyptian scored a hat-trick the last time he was at Anfield, so I wouldn't say that.
And then the attack, I think it would be Willian, Laka and Oba. I think it's pretty straightforward. It kind of picks itself.
Knocking on the door for that.
No, I think that...
Better second half against Leicester.
Much better second half. And there was... Do you know what? I don't know whether you picked up on it. This is something that I spoke about in my player ratings on my channel. And I was saying about the reaction from Eddie with the first goal. And I don't think many people picked up on it. And it kind of left me thinking, Pepe tried cutting it back to him, and it was cut out. Comes back to Pepe, and he tries to have a shot, hits the post, hits the player, goes in. Eddie's first reaction is to throw his arms in the air petulantly, like a spoiled kid, because he never got the goal. And Pepe, you can see him turn around to Eddie and go, shush. Watch it, and you'll see it. Right? And I look at that, and I just think to myself, I understand players wanting to score, and he's a striker, I've got no issue with that. I understand if a player goes through and you don't pick an option and you miss, you've seen Henry. Henry's gone mad at players if they haven't squared it and they've had a tap in or whatever. Pepe tried to get the ball to him. It didn't get to him, ricocheted back to him, and ultimately it works, because he scored. So your first instinct should be, okay, team scored, great, 1-0 up, brilliant, celebrate. But he threw his arms up where he was like pissed off, basically. And this is the second incident involving Eddie in the last couple of weeks now. We saw the Ceballos thing. And I've just looked at it and I'm not trying to... I don't know whether...
He's a bit like you, isn't he?
Maybe he's got a little temperamental side that's coming out. Maybe Mikel wants him to be a little bit more... Have a little nastier streak to him.
I didn't really see that.
No, I'm just saying, have a look at it back. For me, something like that, I look at it and I just think there's no need for it. Because I never noticed it initially. It's because I've seen someone speaking about it. It's made me go and have a look at it again. And I went, oh, hold on.
Yeah, and maybe he was reacting to the first bit. Like, oh, you should...
No. It was the ball had actually gone in.
Yeah, but maybe he's saying like as if to say, it went in, but come on, man, you should have cut that back to me earlier.
But he tried. Pepe tried. He beat his men, tried to cull it back. The defender made a good block, fell to Pepe. He then has a shot, hits the post, hits the player, goes in. He's done the right thing because the ball's in the net. And Eddie's first reaction is not to like, you know, you can still celebrate the goal and then go over to Pepe and then say, listen, get the ball over to me next time, yeah? You know what I mean? But his first reaction was like, threw his arms up in the air. And we've all seen in recent months and the videos we've seen of Ronaldo, perfect example, where people have picked out a goal that Juve have scored or something and gone, oh, look at Ronaldo's reaction in the corner. He's unhappy because someone else has scored or whatever. I just see that, and it was the reaction of Pepe as well.
It's good that he's hungry.
I don't mind that, but also as well, it's the fact that Pepe reacted to it. Like, Pepe's instantly just said to him, like, he's actually gone like that, shush.
I like the fact they're fired up, man.
I don't mind. But this is what I'm saying, because Eddie's always been a quiet boy.
Going to need to be fired up against Liverpool.
Eddie's always been a quiet boy.
Do you remember what Mourinho says in that documentary to Spurs? He goes, you're too nice.
Yeah.
That's been Arsenal as well over the years.
But this is why I'm trying to say to you, what I'm trying to say to you is that, is it something that's being instilled into these players
I feel so. I feel, because you spoke about that record earlier, right? And you look at some of the places we've been away to, Leicester now, Wolves before that. We've been to some of these different
Sheffield
places
United.
away where we get turned over and we've won. And you've got to have that real dogged, you know, killer instinct attitude if you're going to go and get anything.
Yeah, of course.
To go to Anfield and get anything out of that game, they're going to have to go there with... They're going to have to be not just on it, but they can't be nice. They can't go there and wilt. That's what's happened over the years, right? We've gone to Anfield, conceded a goal, we just waved the white flag. Yeah. They got to go there knowing that they're going to have to fight for everything. The only way they will get anything out of that game is by fighting.
Yeah, of course.
If they don't fight, they will get zero. Yeah. But if they go into that game and they go in and really fight, they could come away with something.
They could do, and if it all goes wrong, at least we ain't going to be having another viral video standing on that fence of Stanley Park.
I won't be out there, all the scousers, Robbie lad, what's the score? You know what I mean? I won't have to put up with that, you know what I mean? I won't have to get them guys from Red Men TV hunting me down, man, to beam me up with that, you know what I mean?
God.
It's a game to look forward to. Do you think that the fact there are no fans, do you think that's going to play a significant part? Because it is, we've been there many times over the years, and their fans are brilliant, and they do make a lot of noise.
If we continue with this run of form we're on, and if we continue to get these good results against big sides, then I think they should continue banning Arsenal fans from the stadium, full stop.
Do you think that's had a factor? Do you think that, like, certain players, let's say a Granit Xhaka, where fans, you know, and to be fair, he was turning the fans around anyway, even before the lockdown, when fans were back in. But he's the sort of player that he might make a mistake. The fans will be, you go, Xhaka! Right? He hasn't got to put up with that now. He can just concentrate on his game. If he makes a mistake, the only thing he might hear is Mikel Arteta saying, right, come on, Xhaka, come on.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with you, and I'm not obviously going to reveal who they are, you know, but there is a player in the team that's told me very clearly that it's at home the fans can be heard the most by the players. Like, obviously there's going to be more fans in there in comparison to away from home, but they can literally hear everything in the Emirates. And we also know that despite us not being the most easiest of away fans at times, shall we say, Crystal Palace, when we let them know just what we felt, sort of thing, the home support, like the moment you play out from the back, you can hear it round the Emirates. It's, oh my God.
Even when we're doing the watch-alongs, if people are losing it when we're playing out at the back.
But that's what I'm saying.
Now, that, for instance, that you make a great point with that. So one of the things we've been doing very, very well under Mikel Arteta is playing out from the back. You've seen the brilliant goal we scored against City and Liverpool, playing out from the back, right? Now, you know what it's like, right? Like you said, when you do that at home, fans don't, a lot of fans don't get it. They're like, get the ball up the pitch, what are you doing? Yeah. Especially sometimes when it's some sort of, which is a drilled thing that's drilled into players. Do it, play it at the last minute. Draw that person right in. Play him. He's in.
Yeah.
That means, you know what I mean, right?
You've got to make it look like you're about to lose the ball. Because
Yeah.
And then when that it's
Because
even
you don't want a player to half commit because he can recover.
Yeah, it's that
you want him
side.
to fully commit, then and it's that.
And it's like, even when they make that pass, and then there's that where everyone takes this breath, like, and
especially with like someone like Leno, who sort of he starts it, so he might sometimes, a lot of times, they might play it out to the guy in the middle of the goal.
And it'll come straight back to him.
And it
it's
comes
normally
back.
Xhaka, and it'll come back to him.
Then it goes side, then it goes. But they're really trying to draw the team.
Yeah,
but
they are.
Fans don't get it. They're like, play that, get it out. What are you doing?
You know what? It might have something to do with the fact that we were all put on a knife edge by Petr Cech when it looked like we was playing FIFA and we had buttons stuck. You remember when the ball went across him that time? And he kicked it, and he nearly kicked it into his own goal.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh no.
So obviously, occasionally it goes wrong. But what it is, when you've got no crowd now, it's almost like where you're doing it on the training ground.
Yeah. Because the only people you can hear are your players and your teammates or your manager.
Yeah. So in that way, that probably does help. That's one move you could say. That must definitely help them.
Yeah.
No fans.
And by the time the fans come in, they've probably perfected it.
Yeah, but fans are full of anxiety. They'll still be pissed off.
Yeah, but the players will be more comfortable, is what I'm saying, because they would have got so used to it, they won't worry about.
Do you think also there's some players that benefit from no fans being there? So Xhaka's one. El Neni's another. El Neni, right? We're all looking at him saying, he's looks solid, man. I mean, it's nothing special, nothing spectacular, but he's never been that type of player anyway. But if he was, like, say, playing under normal circumstances, and he made one mistake,
that's it.
because it's El Neni, people are like, get him off, go. That's just from the one mistake. Now he can make one mistake, and Joe laughing in there. He can make one mistake, and the manager will encourage him. Come on, Mo. Come on. Don't. And you quickly get that out of it. I feel there's some players, even some of those young players like Eddie, may be benefiting from there being no crowd there because, he's just listening. All he can hear is the manager telling him to do things and the other players around him. And he's not scared because obviously when you're a young player, maybe scared is not the right word, but when you're a young player, you might get into a one-on-one position. You're thinking, yeah, man, if I miss this chance now...
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
This is in front of the North Bank, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, they're going to be on my case.
Yeah.
If I miss this, I better square it. let me square it to Aubameyang, yeah? Because I know But with no fans being there, you think to yourself, no, man, I'm going to have a crack at this. And then if you miss it...
No one can say anything.
No one's saying nothing.
No.
You're not even thinking about what people on TV are doing, back home are saying. You don't care because you're just focused on... So that could be
maybe
a big advantage for us going to Anfield because it's not just the noise that's made from the fans at Liverpool, but it's our own fans. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That can turn. Our fans, we know that they can turn.
Yeah, listen, I've said that to you. That we're not angels, Jesus. But at the end of the day, certain players react to certain situations. We've spoke to players that have no issue with getting a bit of abuse. They like it. It actually spurs them on to... Don't say that word again. Sorry, I'm so sorry I used that word. It actually makes them, it drives them on, shall we say, to want to do, to shut you up basically. You've seen it with some players before. Henri's probably one of the best examples of that, where even he's got criticism from the crowd before. He's done something and then he gives you that look.
Yeah.
Just to look at Ian Wright.
Tom used to love it.
Right, he's done ones where he's turned around and give it that to us before. Shut up now. What are you saying about me now? Shut up.
He told me before, he said, I loved it when the fans...
Yeah, Kevin Campbell's a prime example. And he used to say that he used to go down the tunnel at Ivory all the time. And there was one guy in particular, always by the tunnel. Kev, you're fucking useless. And he'd be like, I ain't done anything. Even when he was on the bench and he hadn't got on. Kev, you're useless. I ain't even playing. Do you know what I mean? When
I was at Ivory, I've told you the story before about that Scottish guy who used to sit next to him, man. Jesus Christ. He used to be slag off Henri. I'm like, boy, if that guy was still at games now, man, what would he be like now?
Mate, we've been at games, and how many times we sat there and we've heard people behind us or in front of us being like ripping into Oba. Oh, he's having a quiet game. He's useless. Oh, where are you?
I don't
And then
do
he'll
no
score.
work.
And then he'll score. And then you'll sit there and you'll go. And they're like, oh, that Ober's all right, isn't he? Yeah, Bamiyang, what a tough player.
You turn around and you look at him and they go, oh, Bamiyang.
Oh, Bamiyang. Look, we're all guilty of it,
We
man.
are all guilty. But is that helping us?
Maybe, because our results, what is it? 6 wins in a row now?
Although, to be fair, before the lockdown, we hadn't lost a game either. From the start of the year up until when the actual lockdown happened.
Yeah.
Remember, we hadn't actually lost a game. So.
Yeah, and then we have lost games under lockdown. We had no pressures of the fans in the North London derby and we flopped. We had no pressures of fans at Brighton and we flopped. So swings and roundabouts. I just think that, there's certain parts of our game where it's helping, playing out from the back and stuff like that without the pressures of the fans on their case so they can learn it. I'm just happy with the way that we're progressing at the moment because you can see. Look,
he's no longer putting the cones out, is he?
No, he ain't putting the cones out, man. Do you know what I mean? Look, there's too many people that disrespect him and there's too many of our own fans that have an issue against Mikel Arteta, and you can have an issue with the owners and what's going on and everything else. And I see this comment being mentioned all the time, and it's the whole trust the process. Let me make something very clear. The whole trust the process word has come from the people that have the agenda against Mikel Arteta in the first place. And we've all adopted it, trust in the process. What he does on the pitch, I trust. I fully trust. Trust the process is what Mikel Arteta is getting out of these players and what we're doing on the pitch. There's not a single Arsenal fan that cannot tell me that he's not proving what he's capable of doing with this team on the pitch. If you try and argue with me, you're talking out your backside. You have no argument in any way, shape or form to tell me as to why Mikel Arteta is not changing a whole entire culture on the pitch. He's proven it. I've just said to you, 31 games he's been manager. 25 of those 31, we've kept a clean sheet or only conceded 1 goal. We were a team that were conceding over 20 shots on goal per game. Bernd Leno was one of our players of the season because he was practically having to be 3 goalkeepers. He was literally saving us. So already he's turned those players around. Gary Neville famously once said, these defenders are uncoachable. He's making David Luiz and people like that look like good defenders. Yeah, he has the odd mistake in him, like a Manchester City away, for example. But the rest of the time, it's been immense. You remember Man City in the FA Cup semi-final? Who was man of the match? Everyone thinks about Ober and the goals and everything else. David Luiz was the foundation. Same with the final against Chelsea. So he's getting something out. The argument about what's going on off the pitch, you can have an argument about that. I've got no issue with you having a problem. But Mikel Arteta is not responsible for all of that. He's working with what he's got. And what he's doing, it's a miracle work, what he's doing.
Can a miracle happen?
No.
I'm
joking.
No chance.
I think...
We won't beat Liverpool.
What did I say to you when you done... Remember we done a podcast a few weeks ago and we done the first... Was it 5 games? And you said... And I told you 13 points out of 15 and you went...
What do you reckon then?
I think we'll get a draw. And then we're going to beat Man City and Man United. And we would have had 13 out of 15 points in our first 5 games.
Okay. I reckon we could win that game, yeah?
Well, I'm just...
I've just got a funny feeling about that game, right? Is that I've just got a funny feeling we could...
Why can't we be confident for once?
The players going into that game have no reason to be confident. Have no reason not to be confident. Right? Because to me, they can go there and they can get a result. I truly believe it. I think, the fact there's no fans, it helps us. I think the way the team's playing, they're playing very well. I think we're catching Liverpool still quite early in the season before they're that oil machine. Yes, they beat Chelsea very easily, but Chelsea literally, they pressed the self-destruct button in that game with Kepa, didn't they? You know what I mean? And getting players sent off
as well.
And stuff like that. I think Liverpool are still not up to speed yet. They're a great team, we know that, but they're still not firing on all cylinders. This is the perfect time to play them. We go out there, we execute our game plan perfectly, like we did against them in the Community Shield. Press them. Don't be scared. Be brave at Anfield. I think we can get a result. I'm literally going to put a tenner, and these people, this could come back to haunt me as well, on Arsenal winning the game. I don't know what it is. I've just got a bit of confidence about me going into this one. Even though they have got Thiago, and Thiago gave away a penalty in that game, by the way. A lot of people forgot to point out. It was a penalty. He gave away a penalty. But anyway, listen, I just look on it and I think, I know this Arsenal team's playing well at the moment. The confidence is high. Obviously, this is the big test. They're the best team. They're the champions. Yeah. You know, I mean, they've scored what? Was it 7 goals in 2 games? No, sorry, 7 goals. No, 6 goals in 2 games. You know, they destroyed Leeds in the end, but Leeds...
We've still got 5 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, that Leeds game. And I looked at that and I was like, hey.
Leeds went at them.
Yeah.
Direct.
So I want us to be, not as gun-ho as Leeds were, but I want us to be brave. And if we do, and I think if we manage to get a result in that game, wow, would that be a turning point for this football club?
It would be.
Would that be a turning point for this manager?
It would be.
It would be a statement to say to the rest of the league that Arsenal are going to be nothing to do with winning leagues or nothing. But they're going to be a serious team to play. And you know, when you're going back on that Arteta thing, another thing I'd say is what I've found very pleasing and very significant what I see recently. When I speak to fans of other clubs, forget our fans, some of these fans that you're pointing out. Yeah. When I'm speaking to fans of other clubs, they've got a lot of respect for Arteta. Yeah. They're all saying, hey, this guy's doing... We rate him, man. He's turning Arsenal around. We think Arsenal are on their way back. So I'd love him to go and make a statement at Anfield. That would be brilliant.
I would love it.
And remember, Anfield is a fort. It seems dumb for me to be saying we can get a result there because they haven't lost there. Was it 3 seasons? Something like that. They've got an unbelievable record.
In the Premier League, yeah.
Unbelievable record.
But what records are there for?
Break them.
There you go.
Our invincible run was broken. So
exactly, every run comes to an end one day. So you know, I know that it's Mane in particular that's got that record at Anfield where he's not lost a game in the Premier League, I believe. Let's end it.
And our horrible record at Anfield. Let's end that. But thanks for the podcast today. It's good to be in the flesh together. Here,
because you miss me so much. That's why.
No, I didn't miss you, man.
You do miss me, man. Come on, Robbie. I know how much you miss me. I know you do.
Where you get this from? Miss who?
I know you miss me because you're always messaging me.
Right. Message who?
You are. Are you all right?
Message who?
You'll come out for dinner.
Dinner? Now you're going too far. You know what I mean?
But listen, if we go for dinner, we can't go out past 10.
Listen, we can't go out past 10. I might even buy you a drink if we beat Liverpool. I'll tell you that, man. That's how.
Boy, the day you get your wallet out, my word.
Are you trying to say I'm tight or something? You say I'm tight enough.
Hey, listen, don't get me into this. Don't get me into this.
Right, so listen, looking forward
I agree with you about time.
Looking forward to the game, Arsenal versus Liverpool. If Arsenal could get a win, it'd be absolutely amazing. A draw would be amazing.
Score prediction?
Be real. 2-1 Arsenal.
I'm going 2-1.
Arsenal. I've convinced you. Are you going 2-1 Liverpool?
No, 2-1 Arsenal. That's my...
It's a tall order.
It's my heart. My head says 1-1.
But come on, let's come on. Why not? Thanks for watching the podcast and listening to it today. Don't forget you can download it on all the normal formats. Really enjoyed speaking to you guys today, and we will be back next week, and hopefully we'll have big smiles on our face because we could be back next week. Might have beaten Liverpool twice in a week. It's Robbie here from AFTV. Don't forget to check out AFTV on Flick for all the latest transfer rumours, for all the information on Arsenal, for all the information on AFTV. You can check me there for Q&As on a regular basis. The link is in the description. It is free to download. Download it right now.